Shalom, family. My name is Caesar, and if you're watching this video right now, you have accepted to follow in the path of the truth. Just like how in the Matrix movie you had to choose between the red pill and the blue pill, this is exactly what's about to go down. In this video I'm about to show you is literally Buzz Aldrin, in his own words, talking to an 8-year-old girl at what looks like a science symposium, something for NASA. You see what I'm saying? And if you really want to understand your true enemy, do some research on them. If you think I'm playing, after this video is over, and I encourage you to please watch it to the end, because remember, I have to lay down the foundation of the steps that led me to believe what I'm about to tell you. Because I'm not the type of person that's just going to believe blindly in something. I have to have evidence. All right. So let's do just a quick bit of research on your smartphone device, whatever you have. Google Hebrew definition of NASA and surprise yourself. See what it tells you. It means the word deceiver or to lie. Now let me show you exactly how Buzz Aldrin is about to deceive or lie to everybody.
Has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question. I want to know, but I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and we didn't go there, and and that's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen, it's nice to know why it didn't happen. So in the future, if we want to keep doing something, we need to know why something stopped in the past if we wanted to keep it going.
Now, what I'm about to express to you guys may come as a shock. He openly admitted that we couldn't go there. He said something stopped us. Something stopped us. Let me explain to you what that something really was. In the Bible, it clearly says, on the fourth day of creation, God made the sun, the moon, and the stars. Now that I know the truth, his real name isn't God. His real name is Yahweh. That is the true name of our creator. But that's a topic for another day. I'll make a video about that. It clearly says that after Yahweh made the sun, the moon, and the stars, it stated that on the next day, he made something called the firmament, which literally is a impenetrable barrier that can't be broken, shattered. It can barely get a scratch in it. And I'm about to play a video right now that's going to show you one of our, what she could have been the president of the United States. I'm talking about Hillary Clinton. She openly talks about this in one of her speeches because she wants to seem intellectual, or she wants to seem like she's trying to touch the masses, you know, on a deeper level. Little does everybody know, they're referencing an impenetrable barrier created by the Holy One. And they actually openly admit that they had to launch nuclear warheads to actually to try to break this barrier. But in fact, they got a little jolt of something that they didn't even know what was about to go down. I'm about to play the video right now. And this is of a college student, you know, recording his teacher, and his teacher openly talking about the firmament, or the whole nature of reality. I love using that because your reality can be anything. Your reality is based only off what you can believe, test, or prove yourself. But if, like I said, if you openly, you know, deny yourself the truth, the only thing holding you back is your ego. That's what's holding you back, if the facts are very clear. Now you're about to see this college professor destroy this whole globe model. And I was naive. I was young. You know, I used to be that person sitting on the couch, just chilling with the homies, just wanting to hustle, get the money myself. I was like that for many years. And I was not on the spiritual crew whatsoever. Like, to be honest with you, I believed more in aliens than I did in Yahweh. But it wasn't until years later that I can see the sorcery, the trickery, the fakery that they tell you about, you know, the shape of what we live on, our position in this universe, where are we at? You see what I'm saying? They lie to us about satellites. They lie to us about, they tell us, oh, we don't have the cure for these diseases, but yet we can sell you the treatment. Yeah, we can hook you up like that. I'm like, all of these things add up. I'm building up, to the climax of the nature of reality. And I'm about to show right now this college professor destroy the entire little globe model thing. He straight up tells his class is absolute BS. College professor now. And then at the end, I'm going to show an independent rocket launch. You can tell me, oh, NASA did this and NASA did that. But it wasn't until I actually came across a gentleman that said, can you prove anything about space other than using the mainstream sources of information? Subtract those guys out of the equation. Can anybody independently test and prove what you see? And I'm about to show you an exact replica of what I'm describing. So first you're going to see the college professor totally throwing shade on the establishment, hinting that we live in a geliocentric universe. And all that means is that a geliocentric universe means that the sun, the moon, and the stars are all revolving around Earth. Where the other side of the coin, the side of the people who are atheists, they believe in evolution, they believe the Earth is a globe, they believe that, the Illuminati, Freemasons, Skull and Bones, Secret Society would never lie to us. The government would never lie to us. No, they couldn't do anything like that. That's the side, the heliocentric side. They believe that is the opposite. They believe the sun is in the center. These are the same people who worship the sun god. When you look on the back of the dollar bill, you see the eye. That's the sun worship. That's Ra. You see what I'm saying? That's some ancient Egyptian stuff that they don't even want you to know they messing with right now. You see what I'm saying? That side, the heliocentric side, that states that the sun is in the center and all the planets revolve around the sun. And that we're hurling through space at 6,666 miles an hour. That's how fast we're going around the sun. And I'm like, what a satanic number. That's not helping the crew that's atheist and don't believe in nothing. I'm sorry. It's not helping. That's not helping your side. And conveniently, most of the people that don't, like these Hollywood agencies, the crazy Vatican that's been bought out. Oh, conveniently, they always talk about pedophilia, child abuse, sexual molestation. And I'm like, wow, these are positions of power, the Roman Catholic Church, Hollywood, but y'all both got the same recurrent story. Obviously, y'all worshiping something that ain't correct. But I digress. That's a topic for another video. Let's go back to this college student recording his teacher and then showing an independent group launch a rocket. You really see what happens when they launch a rocket up into space. Here we go.
Universal truths in the world. One is food always tastes better when somebody else is paying for it. Universal truth.
Might be true.
The other is that everybody in this room was taught the story of how Columbus went before Queen Isabella of Spain and he was going to prove to her that the world was round. Do you know what Queen Isabella of Spain, pretty smart woman I gotta believe, would have said to Christopher Columbus when he laid this line on her? She would look to him and go, Christopher, Aristotle figured out the world was round 2,000 years ago. This is 1492, the year they invented the globe. So this world is round story is 100% bullshit. It's total fiction. Yet how did our grandparents learn this? We learned this. Our grandchildren are probably going to learn this. How come? Because history is pop culture.
He said that history is pop culture. That's just basically another way of saying that history repeats itself. You see, history or history is written by the victor. Okay. And one of the things that I thought was very skeptical when I was in high school and then went to college. In high school, they teach you, yep, Christopher Columbus. He was the first dude to get there. First dude to travel to the New World. But what they don't express is that right before he died, and he actually wanted to tell people this, and some people say he was assassinated or he just died from natural causes, whatever. He openly admits in his journal that when he got there, he saw an ancient Aborigines race. He called them fair-skinned people smoking out of peace pipes. Clearly, he described people of color in that scenario. Only problem that I'm sure the established belief system, that power of be that at that time, they was like, wait a minute. We can't let the world know that people of color had traveled to the New World before we got there. And let me tell you why. It's simply because the transatlantic slave trade didn't happen for 300 years. So that would suggest that people of color, people that came from Africa, and these Hebrew people that were around back then, they actually had the ability to sail across the seas 300 years before they were enslaved. And of course, you got some people say, oh, they sold themselves, and they weren't really enslaved. BS. You can say whatever you want to make the situation sound good, but they don't want you to know that they had people like Nas, who had a song. Everybody knows that song back in the day. I know I can be what I want to be. If I work hard at it, I be, everybody knows that jam. They don't want you to realize that in the last verse of that song, he openly admitted that when the Europeans, the Persians, when the Greeks, they all came to Africa. They don't want us to express the fact that we gave them science. We gave them engineering. We gave them mathematics. We showed them the position of the stars. Like, this is knowledge that we had from Yahweh, from our divine creator. But yet, I guess we're inside of us is so pure. It's so good. We actually gave them gold. We gave them all plus the information, and we gave them gold. You know what these Europeans and these Persians and these Greeks did? It was like, what? They just gave us a bunch of free shit? They don't know about money? Of course, after that, they realized how eager and nice we were. That's why they went back over there and enslaved them. Okay? Because let's just be honest. This is the same ancestor race that came with the Indians, promise of peace, but then they showed them what what muskets and cannon fire felt like. Then after they couldn't obliterate them, instead of them enslaving them like they did to other races, they straight up was like, nah, we'll give you smallpox and we'll put it in this blanket and we'll give it to you as peace, and we'll show everybody that we can poison you because you'll willingly give these blankets out to your other tribe in kindness, showing that we have peace. These are just one of many things that we can clearly see as history has been lied to us. You see what I'm saying? The whole idea that, people of color came from Africa, came from, what we call the Middle East, when in fact it's one continent. They just playing games with your mind. 300 years before they were enslaved, they had the ability to sail the seas. Who knew? They might have had other things like flight. They could have had many other things that we just say are modern day things, because I promise you, I used to be on the Star Trek tip. I watched every episode. I've seen everything alien, ancient aliens, all that. And I once believed that that was real. But it wasn't until I gave my own interpretation, my own feelings on it, that the spiritual crew been saying that these beings been alive from the jump. They call them angels and demons. You see what I'm saying? And I honestly believe that coming up real soon, it's going to come back to that original equation. But right now, I'm about to show you in this second part of the video, if they're faking, what's called the firmament, if they're faking it, how in the world can they honestly tell me, yep, we're going to have an alien invasion coming up soon? They're going to be real nice. And I'm like, come on. You know what I mean? Like, it's all an illusion. Actually, you know what? I'm going to play this quick video that shows Hillary Clinton making a reference of this firmament that I mentioned that protects us, made by Yahweh. Check this out.
We weren't able to shatter that hardest glass ceiling this time, thanks to you. It's got about 18 million cracks in it. And it may be hard to see tonight, but we are all standing under a glass ceiling.
I wonder, I bet.
The light is shining through like never before.
Yep, the elite, they know, the 1%.
The hope and the sure knowledge. 4 members of the...
All right, now, in conclusion, I'm making this video because I know that if you may not believe what I believe, and that's fine. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. To be honest, I don't want anybody to believe what I'm saying. What I want people to do is to come to their own conclusion. I want people to do research on the things that they claim they believe in. And if you find proof for what you believe in, great. But don't ever be afraid to stand in the shoes of a believer for somebody else, because that's what I did for 8 years. I believed in the whole alien phenomenon. I was like, yo, if aliens come down, G, we could just hit them up. We could just go ride in their spaceship. They're gonna cruise us around the hood. I mean, it might be like some Hollywood Disney movie up in this shit. You feel me? So I really thought that was real, but it wasn't. It was my ego wanting me to be real. It's no coincidence why our society, people dislike themselves. People want to change themselves. Females want to augment their bodies. Males want to change and embrace feminine aspects, like, dressing and talking and stuff. Like, that's idiotic. We're doing the opposite of what the Most High wanted. We were doing the opposite of what our Creator laid out for us to do. You see what I'm saying? And I believe that everything they show us in Hollywood movies, I think that when they tell us that they have technologies that could increase our lifespan or anything like that, that's only an interpretation on how we once could live really long. When they tell you that they want you to give you abilities like telekinesis or levitation, they make jokes about this in movies and video games and stuff like that. But that could just be a real ploy on the truth that we actually once did these things given to us by God. You see this little pendant right here? This is called, in mathematics, it's called the Fibonacci sequence. But I didn't know in spirituality, it's called the flower of life. I didn't know that. And it's not until I researched that this Fibonacci sequence, this mathematical code, is in every living organism on this planet. That means that everything is created with a symmetry, a perfection, a divine essence, everything. But when you look out, on the street, when you look out, I live in the greatest city in the world, city that never sleeps. But when you go out, people they're like in the Matrix movie. They're like all drones. You see what I'm saying? So many people want to change themselves. A lot of people don't believe that, we all grow up with that saying, oh, nobody's perfect. BS. I should be the first person to say that's a lie. When our cell was one cell and then divided into the next group of cells, that was perfection. Yes, there are people that are grown up with harmful diseases, and I understand that is tragic. But that's no different than the forces that worship darkness, these secret societies that they're poisoning people with the food, the air, the water. I mean, Google NASA's cloud. NASA makes a cloud. You can just Google that and you'll see they have an engine that can create a 2-mile long cloud. And it got NASA written on the side. Like, y'all supposed to be the space agency. Why are y'all making clouds out here trying to manipulate the weather? Everybody knows that, weather and nature is getting more harsh and more severe, things that we've never seen before. Could it be because they're trying to play who? Trying to play God, aka Yahweh? You're trying to play like the Holy One. And I get so upset when people say, oh, God ain't real. Yahweh ain't real. If Yahweh was real, why did Yahweh put cancer in children? Why did Yahweh let Martin Luther King, Malcolm X die? Why did Yahweh let all these things go down, when in fact Yahweh gave us free will? Yahweh gave us the ability to do as we please in his name, to worship to praise the goodness of all that is. However, nobody wants to overlook the fact that in the beginning there was Hasakhan, aka the devil, Lucifer, the morning star. He was the original one that challenged the one and only. And instead of Yahweh killing him, instead of God killing him, he's like, yo, I'm gonna kick you out the house, G. And now you will never come back again. And it clearly says in the book of Enoch, which I hate that this is why a lot of people don't believe in God, because the Roman Catholic Church, they call it the UNLV Bible, and they replace things out of the King James Version Bible and the original Hebrew Bible. Every version of the Bible, they keep taking out the parts that would touch you, and they give you just the parts that make you feel good, the part that makes you accept blindly instead of knowing it. Because it clearly says in the book of Enoch that when Lucifer fell, he fell with 1/3 of the angels. It wasn't just him that fell down. The ones that control the world, they're the demons. They're the dark ones. They can call them monsters. You can call them ghosts, spirits. Those are the ones that are manipulating, whispering in these people's ear, suggesting that these dark people do like blood sacrifice and worship and seances. Why do you think the rap game and the music game is so distorted? You got rappers openly admitting that they had to sell their soul. They had to make a blood contract. Look at just recently, the artist from Imagine Dragons. You Google him. Imagine Dragons artist talks about selling his soul or blood sacrifice. And he openly is laying down in his bed upset that nobody wants to talk about this. And I could feel a part of him because he openly admits that he had to sign his name in blood, a blood contract. Why would you need the blood? It's because the blood is pure. The blood is the divine code of everything of who you are. It's your essence. It's a piece of it. You see what I'm saying? And they make fun about that. Just like how when Beyonce talks about, oh, and when I'm on stage, I turn into Sasha Fierce. That's a possession. People think it's a joke, but yet she has her own, now Beyonce has her own church. It's called the Church of Beyonce. And I believe it's in California, where they openly just play her music all day. They got praise, worship, they dance. And I'm like, what? This is what the Bible calls, thou shalt not worship false idols. Everything is rolling into place right now. Everything is falling into line, and I encourage everybody. I probably don't have time to get this video finished up because it's running very long right now. And I probably won't be able to play this full one, but I'm going to play some of it, of the firmament that I mentioned earlier. This right here is what they call Operation Fishbowl. And Operation Fishbowl was a real test done by several governments, several superpowers, where they openly admit that they have to launch nuclear warheads at the sky. And this is public knowledge. Every time they launch a nuclear warhead, they know how big it is, what time they launched it, the yield, all that. But they don't want you to openly admit, and they don't want you to know that they actually are using this to highly charge particles in that are against this dome. And that is how they're bouncing GPS signals, radio signals, TV signals. You think it's because it's a satellite in the sky? I'm sad to inform you it's not. And I'm going to put on my channel a real person. This is what the live footage looks like of them launching it at this dome. And you can clearly see that it's like a ricochet effect outwards. So it looks like they're really, seeing is believing. This is from a Navy vessel off in Antarctica where they're launching these things at. And you can clearly see of something real going down. Now, I don't want to spoil the story for you in case you want to look it up for yourself. But spoiler alert, Admiral Richard Berg, when he went to Antarctica, he openly admitted that he saw an ice wall that was 200 foot in height and 300 in some cases. The whole flat earth community, and I hate the flat earth society because that's done by a dude named George Soros. I encourage you, don't follow no flat earth society as a joke because they still believe in gravity and that we're spinning. So it's BS. A real flat earth person would tell you that God made this universe, that we're not spinning like they tell us, and that a lot of the things like satellites and space travel, them going to the moon, all that was fake. It was the illusion to make you disbelieve in the power of God. You see what I'm saying? But this is a real, that video I just showed you was a real life nuclear warhead going off, bouncing, ricocheting off this they call it the ionosphere, the mesosphere, the thermosphere. But they don't want you to know that this dome, this barrier, they say it looks like a snow globe. They say that that's what's protecting us, holding our oxygen in, keeping us stable. This is the reality of the truth. Now, I encourage everybody to research this truth. Don't just take my word for it. Because right now, I'm about to show you the real, what it looks like.
First civilian team in history to launch a rocket that reaches space.
First civilian team in history. Let's see what they see.
All systems are go for launch. You might have 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is a real life, straight up, independent team. They ain't getting paid to do this. 2014 they did this, bet. Here we go. And like I said, this video is probably getting kind of long. I need to make sure it's short enough so it doesn't expire or whatever. And I'm only showing you, this video from this perspective. Look at that, 73 miles up that rocket way. I'm showing it to you just for perspective because I tried to make a YouTube channel in 2008 and they banned me because I reposted a video, and you can look this up on my channel. I reposted it, and it's called Cure All Diseases in 3 Minutes, where they openly admit that you can heal someone's cancer without technology, without medicine, without all this radiation, all this BS, so now I'm actually just showing you these videos from my computer. I'm no longer probably just going to upload all that Oh, look at that. And it said it hit the dome. Let me just go back so you guys can hear that because I was running my mouth. Here we go. Do you hear that? This rocket was going pretty fast. If it hit something solid, it should have fucking exploded. It should have been into 100 pieces right now, but it's not. It's not. Because it hit the impenetrable barrier made by God. And this is something that, you know, NASA, all these government agencies, they don't want you to show, they don't want you to notice this. They don't want you to see that, yo, you can see the moon right there, and when it was spinning, you saw the sun on the same level because it's a flat surface. You know, and let me tell you something. First time I was told about this flat earth shit, I didn't believe it. I thought that person was crazy. Crazy. But they also told me that they believed in God, and that's what turned me off. You know, because I didn't want to believe. But now that I know that these things are connected, it allows my mind to freely judge everything for what it is now. You see what I'm saying? And, you know, I finally had the day off, you know, and I'm going to start making more videos like this. And if you guys want to, you know, you can like, comment, and subscribe, you know, and I'm going to be making my interpretation on a lot of things. You know, as an example, you know, my next video, I'm going to probably show how Hollywood really gives you subliminal messages. Just how, like, as an example, in the Monsters, Inc. movie, when the monster, spoiler alert, if you ain't seen the first one, go check that out. When the monster opened up the closet to scare the little girl she screamed, you know, really loud. What did the monster do? AKA, I'm saying this AKA the demon, but let's just say it's a monster for now. This is how Hollywood know that I know the truth. When the monster saw that fear, he gobbled it up. He put it in a bottle, basically. And science openly admits that when you're in fear, when you're scared, it's a pheromone. You can excrete fear almost from your skin. And there's animals that can detect this. You see what I'm saying? And I should believe that if there's animals that can detect this, there should be higher forms of beings that can as well. And if these, you know, angels and demons fell from, you know, the beginning of time, and they just been here chilling, they've developed their skills. They've honed their skills. But like I'm saying, the monster scared the child, bottled up that fear. Did what? Took it back into a dimension. It didn't take it to no faraway planet amongst the stars. No, it wasn't no alien. It took it to an interdimensional gateway. Took that energy, gave it to who? The machine, the leader. Just like in the Matrix movie, they said the machine's running shit. It's the same thing. Let's just say the machine is Hasakon, the devil, Lucifer. So immediately when the monster was going back to get more, the girl did one powerful thing. She had the power of love in her heart. Instead of her attacking the animal, she did what? She made the monster experience joy, laughter. He made the monster laugh by tickling it. So then the monster was like, oh, wait a minute. This power of joy can exceed fear 10-fold, 100-fold, 1,000-fold. And that's just you know, like an interpretation of how powerful love really is over fear. But yet when you look at all these powerful nations in the world, they're doing bombs over here, famine over here, disease over here. That's all planned. That's by no accident. Just like how if you look up a rap done by an artist named My Son, he openly admits there's a song he did in essence to that song, I'm Not Racist, and I'm gonna do my reaction video on that, and he clearly says there's guns, there's millions in the hood, but where you think they came from? You know, that's one of the verses he says in there, and it's true. You know, the people who live in these impoverished areas, they ain't made the guns, they didn't put them there. But they don't want to address the source that, you know, these black market societies, these secret societies, they're the ones infecting us. They're the poison, and we think that we're the problem, but we're not. We're not the problem. We're our bodies are reacting to this infection. You see what I'm saying? But I don't want to make this video too short. In conclusion, you know, do your own research. Feel what's in here before you just believe something. You know, and I hope all of you guys, ladies and gentlemen, like, comment, and subscribe. Social media is about to take off. Like, I'm about to expose everything. I've been looking up this stuff for 11 years, and I finally have the courage and the wisdom to express it and bring it to y'all in this fashion. So if you like, you know, if y'all like this video, share it with your friends. Share it with your family. Even if you don't believe what I'm saying, there might be someone who needs this information because they want to know, oh, when the fake alien invasion come, oh, that's not really aliens. You know, there's some Hollywood Independence Day shit, just like the Vatican openly admits that they want to baptize aliens in the name of God. I'm like, what? How you know the alien damn demon? How you don't know that? How you know he ain't on some Harry Potter shit? But it's about to get real, ladies and gentlemen. I really hope all of y'all have a wonderful, lifetime, a shalom of everything inside of you, everything. So happy lifetimes to everybody, and I look forward to making the next video for everybody.